Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. All right, so we have a little bit of movement in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein's death. Attorney General Barr has come out and said that, oh, well, he's seen the footage, and you can count on him. It's definitely a suicide. I'm sure that made everybody, the questions are over now, right? Attorney General Barr has told us the official narrative and stuck with it, and that's what we're going to go with, right? Anyway, if you guys want to contact me, you could do that at BobbyCapucci@protonmail.com. That's Bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. All right, let's see what this article has to say. AG Barr says Jeffrey Epstein death was a result of perfect storm of screw-ups. Attorney General William Barr said that disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein's suicide death was the result of a perfect storm of screw-ups. Allegedly. Barr, during an interview with the Associated Press late Thursday, said that his concerns about Epstein's death were prompted by numerous irregularities at Metropolitan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan, where he was being held. Numerous irregularities? Boy, that's an understatement, Attorney General Barr. In August, following Epstein's death, Barr vowed a comprehensive probe by the FBI and Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz, amid disturbing revelations from lawyers and others who said failings at the prison had been ignored for years. Now, months into an investigation, Barr says federal investigators have realized there was a series of mistakes made that gave Epstein the chance to take his own life. All right, cool. You've seen footage, right? So can we see that same footage, or do we just have to go on your word? Because guess what, Attorney General Barr? That's not good enough for us. I can understand people whose minds went to this sort of worst case scenario because it was a perfect storm of screw-ups. Was it a perfect storm of screw-ups, Mr. Barr, or was it a perfect storm of mistakes that were meant to happen? Right? And now you have two prison guards and they're the fall guys? Let's be real. Accountability. We talk about it all the time here on this podcast, folks. Accountability. And these people have none of it. So the two guards go to jail, but everybody else, that's cool. You guys, all the bosses, and we'll just reassign you, and we'll put you somewhere else. It's kind of like the church, right? When a priest used to molest a kid, they would just bury him in some different church so he can go do it again. And basically that's what's going on here. There's going to be nobody stepping up and taking the fall for this, except for the low tier, the small people, once again, getting shit on by the elites. Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City in August. Life-saving measures were initiated immediately by staff. Yeah, well, that's all fine and well, but he wasn't checked on for 8 hours, supposedly. You know what could happen in 8 hours? That's a whole work shift. Think about how bored you are at work all day. And then think about all that could happen in that 8 hours. He was then transported to New York Presbyterian Lower Manhattan Hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival, officials said at the time. What? Immediately following his death, the New York City medical examiner ruled that the convicted sex offender took his own life. Immediately following his death, huh? Boy, I guess it was just a straight cut and dry case. Let's immediately go on record and say, Beck, he killed himself. We don't need any more investigations. I wonder who told him to say that. But questions were raised as to how the wealthy financier could have killed himself while in a high-security facility just 2 weeks after being placed on suicide watch. Yeah. Questions must be asked. Questions must be answered. Meanwhile, this week, during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, the director of the Bureau of Prisons, Kathleen Hawk Sawyer, could there ever be, it's like the perfect name for a prison official, Hawk Sawyer, who described Epstein's death as a black eye on the entire Bureau of Prisons, testified that the FBI investigators probing Epstein's death are looking into whether a criminal enterprise may have played a role. You see, it's murky what they do. A criminal enterprise. They're trying to use wordplay. What they really mean to say is, we're going to make these guards take the fall for all of this, because they fell asleep, and it's such a joke. It's such a joke. Later that day, an indictment was filed in Manhattan federal court alleging that guards Tova Noel and Michael Thomas repeatedly failed to complete mandated counts of prisoners under their watch in the MCC's Special Housing Unit. According to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, Both Noel and Thomas were arraigned Tuesday on charges of conspiracy and making false records in connection with Epstein's death. Both pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, Barr on Thursday also sought to tamp down the conspiracy theories surrounding Epstein's death, with many people questioning whether Epstein really took his own life. And really, folks, that's what it's all about once again. They've lost control of the narrative, so Barr had to come waddling out, and he has to take control of the narrative again. It's sad to see, honestly. It really is. Instead of coming out and telling us all of this, why don't you show us the proof? Can we see the evidence, please? We're tired of believing you. We are not just going to listen to you. You people are the same ones that have protected this man for who knows how long. And now you're going to tell us, oh, well, you guys, just relax. We're going to tell you the truth, all right? We're going to tell you the truth like we told you the truth about Iraq, like we told you the truth about Vegas, like we told you the truth about 9/11. We're going to tell you the truth because we're in the truth business in the intelligence community. Barr told the Associated Press that the evidence proves that his death was, in fact, by suicide, adding that he personally reviewed security footage that confirmed that no one entered the area where Epstein was housed the night he died. Well, how could you review footage on cameras that are broke? Or was that a lie too? Can we see the same footage, Mr. Barr? All right, if you're not too busy for us to see the footage, that would be nice. Epstein was placed on suicide watch on July 23rd after he was found on his cell floor with bruises on his neck, but was taken off the heightened watch about a week before his death on August 10th, meaning he was less closely monitored but still supposed to be checked on every 30 minutes. Okay, who took him off and why? And does that person have any connections to any of the people that are tied to Jeffrey Epstein? And furthermore, why isn't that question being asked? Where is the media with all of this? Why am I the one that has to ask these questions? Why does the media not do their job? So they just let Barr give this press conference, no pushback, no anything, like in typical fashion. They're too busy asking questions about the Ukrainian phone call. Epstein was also required to have a cellmate, but was left with none after his cellmate was transferred out of the MCC on August 9th, a day before his death. And remember, his cellmate was Nicholas Tartaglione, who was a cop charged with 3 murders of drug dealers. And funny that he's from Westchester County. Who else is from Westchester County? I think that the Clintons live there. Comey lives there. I wonder who else lives in Westchester County. I think it was important to have a roommate in there with him, and we're looking into why that wasn't done, and I think every indication is that was a screw-up, Barr said. The systems to assure that was done were not followed. Oh, okay, so it was just a screw-up. Better check everybody's bank account. All these people involved, you better check some offshore Cayman bank accounts, under beds, buried in the backyard, because I have a funny feeling somebody got paid, and we all know, follow the money, right? Epstein's death ended the possibility of a trial that would have involved prominent figures and sparked widespread anger that he wouldn't have to answer for sexual abuse allegations of minors. But even after his death, federal prosecutors in New York are continuing to investigate the allegations against him. In July, Epstein was charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy during the early 2000s. Epstein pleaded not guilty in federal court. Epstein allegedly created and maintained a vast network in operation from 2002 up to and including at least 2005. That's such a weak timeline. We all know it was the early 90s, and all the way up till after his second arrest, and all the way up to the very moment that he was about to get arrested again. All right? Prosecutors also alleged that Epstein worked and conspired with others, including employees and associates, who helped facilitate his conduct by contacting victims and scheduling their sexual encounters with the 66-year-old at his mansion in New York City and Palm Beach, Florida, and Zorro Ranch. Can we start talking about Bill Richardson, please? You're about to be put on blast, Bill Richardson. You're about to get yourself a nice, closer look, buddy. Victims would be paid hundreds of dollars in cash by either Epstein or one of his associates or employees, according to prosecutors. The 66-year-old also allegedly incentivized his victims to become recruiters by paying victim recruiters hundreds of dollars for each girl brought to him. Hundreds of dollars to bring girls to get raped. That's what the going rate is now? That's what the going rate is to give up your humanity? A couple of $100? Sick animals. Epstein was once friends with former President Bill Clinton, President Trump, and Britain's Prince Andrew, who, amid allegations this week, revealed that he asked the Queen Elizabeth if he could step back from public duties. He got fired, all right? Stop covering for him. Fox News. Bunch of terrible, lame-ass reporters at Fox, too. What a joke every one of these outlets are. Documents unsealed in the case against Epstein the day before he died revealed that Virginia Roberts, a key witness, claimed that Epstein forced her to have sex with powerful men, including former Senator George Mitchell and former New Mexico governor and Clinton cabinet official Bill Richardson. Both Mitchell and Richardson have denied the allegations. Oh, well, we're going to give them a nice closer look. All right, so we're going to start with Bill Richardson. Maybe that'll be later on today. Maybe we'll do a nice closer look at Bill Richardson later on today or maybe tomorrow. Because obviously, this guy's hip deep in it too. He had a very powerful man in New Mexico, and we see what went on at that Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. How was Epstein even able to get that land lease? It's supposed to be for government grazing. I'm pretty sure the guy has no cows. Barr said the Justice Department is still investigating the circumstances that led to his death. They are definitely pushing things along, Barr said. I'll just say there is good progress being made, and I'm hopeful in a relatively short time there will be tangible results. Yeah, okay. How long does it take to look at the footage? Can we see the footage? Why can't we see the footage you saw? These are the questions I have. I need some answers. Why is it that we just have to believe what someone like Bill Barr tells us? All right? Sorry, I don't believe any of you. I think you're all liars. I don't care what letter is in front of your name, R, D, I, socialist, communist, whatever you want to call yourself. I do not care. I have zero faith in the lawmakers to do the right thing anymore. Because guess what? They're all bought and paid for. Either they're bought and paid for, or they were visiting Epstein and they're blackmailed, or they visited an operation like Epstein and they're being blackmailed. It's hard to find a real purveyor of the truth in Washington, D.C., isn't it? So that's where we come in. That's where the independent media comes in, because we have to fill the gap. Because these people will not do the right thing. They will never tell the truth. And their lapdogs in the media will never press them for real answers. So here we are. All right, everybody. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I will be back later on with some updates, daily drop. You know how it goes. Peace.